Hi everybody, this is Diane. Adjust this a little bit. Okay, before I get started on today's video, I had someone ask how to open these because of my last video where I used slide mounts. That's not one of my slide mounts. Hang on. So this is how mine come, or how mine came. I got 2 big boxes of these at a flea market, and this was just how they come. They were unused, so they were just the empty mounts. So that's how I got mine open and empty, because that's how they came. But I had gotten some previously, a box of slides that had the film in them, and some of them just were already open and the film was falling out, and some they just opened easily. So it must have been not a very good glue holding that batch together, or it was in bad conditions. The slides looked okay, like they weren't water damaged or anything, but they just opened easily. So I thought they all opened easily. They don't, because I pulled out some other ones and tried to open them. I tried to get this in there, but I'm terrified of these things because I cut myself too much. So I suppose, you know, if you're brave enough to try that, you can, but I tried it a little bit and it wasn't working. So then I just used my fingernail, my thumbnail, to try to get in there, and it worked. That I can just peel right off. If you peel layer that you don't want to, you can just glue it back down. The corner is a little bit pulled on, but I could live with that, especially once you decorate them, however you're going to do it, paint them or Mod Podge on them or something. So I started this one too, just to make sure I could do another one. I just put my thumbnail in there and pulled on it, and it's coming apart quite easily. The film comes out, and there you go. So let's try it from scratch. You've got the front and the back, and then you've got this extra layer. So I just put my nail in there and pull. I think maybe on the first one I was trying to open it from the folded edge instead of the open edge. Maybe that's why I was having such a hard time. So these are coming apart quite nicely. So anyway, that's the only thing I can tell you. Also, I don't have them here with me, but I had Sizzix dies in my shop that I was disposing of for my daughter. And one person wanted the one that has all the puzzle pieces, just that one, because she had the other ones that were in the set. So I told her that if the set didn't sell, I would do that for her. And it hasn't sold. It's the only thing from those listings that I've done that hasn't sold. So I'd like to get that for her, but I can't find our conversation. I looked on my Etsy shop and I looked on YouTube. So if it was you asking me about the puzzle piece Sizzix die, please message me again and we'll make that work. However, I won't make it work till after I come back from my trip. I closed my shop just a few minutes ago, so it's going to be closed until, I forgot the date, 11th, I think, Monday, the Monday after Valentine's Day. I will reopen it. Okay, enough business talk. Now, I'm working again on these traveler's notebooks, and I want them to be shabby journals. So I'm going to do a little more work on a certain page with some stuff that I've already gathered up pretty much. I also wanted to show you things that I cut with my Big Shot, just in case I want to use them. Don't know if I'll use them all, but I just wanted to cut them. So I cut some of the slotted dies that I can ink up and grunge up and make look pretty and tuck things in them. I cut some of these Tim Holtz wildflowers, or whatever they're called. And I cut this. It's like an edge, a doily edge. So I cut some of those. Thought I could play around with them. Those are just on some scraps of coffee dyed patterned paper. There's a lace edging there, and I didn't get the dye. I thought I had the dye right up to the edge, but of course there's the margin, so not much of it got on the lace. None of that one. But this one has a pattern. And what else? I cut this with this thin craft paper. They're both Sizzix dyes, and I used a fabric softener. I'm not sure, because I've heard of that trick, and I wasn't sure if you're supposed to put the fabric softener sheet on top of the paper or underneath the paper. I tried it both ways. I think with this one it was underneath, and it worked good with this one, but I don't know if I've ever successfully cut this corner, because these little thin stems and leaves I have trouble with. So let me know if you have trouble, if you have this set. And then I also cut some doilies out of coffee dyed patterned paper. So that's what I'm going to use in this little project. I already did an arrangement for this. This is the 7 Gypsies, I think, paper that I'm using. If you know what this is and it's not 7 Gypsies, please tell me, because I don't know. Somebody sent it to me, but it just looks like 7 Gypsies to me. So I want to take this side, which is a little plainer, and I want to go off of the photos that are on all of these pages and use more vintage photos in this journal. So I want to cut this off and just use half of it. I gotta get my scissors. Didn't have quite everything gathered up here. And I want to use some old lacy fabric type of stuff, linens and things like that. So this was a part of a collar, I believe, and it has this filet lace in it. And there's the fabric that was around the collar. I trimmed off a little bit here because it was, and here, it was, the border was too big. So I want to sew that down here. I can let a little bit hang off, but I didn't want to let so much hang off. And actually I want the lace to show, so I'm going to put it up. And then I want to put this on top of it, and this at the bottom of that. Again, it's more tatty, shabby, layered type of stuff. And I need to tell you that I was inspired for this look by Susie from Shabby Soul. She's awesome. You need to check her out. She does some design team work for the Tim Holtz products, for Ranger or Ideology. What we would call a design team, but they call it makers. She's one of the makers, and she is awesome. So her YouTube channel is Shabby Soul. And then I'm gonna put this button on, and I don't know if I'm gonna do anything else. So I'm gonna start with this. I don't know if I want to sew this down. Maybe I want the smaller piece to let more of the lace show. Yeah, I think I like that better. And I don't know if I should sew that down. I think I won't. I'm just going to let it be. I'm using a darker brown thread to help it to be shabby. And then I'm gonna just sew this across the bottom. I'm just going to grab some of my little tiny doily pieces that I cut apart. Maybe I can use some of these. I've got this whole bag full of this. Perfect. Probably should have opened a new glue before I started videoing. So the snow we were supposed to get all last night was really more rain than snow. There was a little snow, but more rain. I got a gloopy thing on the end of that glue. So I didn't wake up to having to shovel. I just had to sprinkle some snow melt, ice melt, down on my sidewalk and steps. And now it's just been kind of a drizzly rain pretty much all day. But I'm supposed to, my son-in-law is supposed to come and get me with his pickup truck, and we're going to go to someone in this town, in the neighboring town actually, the one I'm moving to. They're selling a retro metal enamel kitchen table, which is so cool because it reminds me of what we had when I was a kid. And it's white with some of the glue went through, so I'm just rubbing it off. It's white with black, just a little bit of black around the edge of the table. Doesn't come with any chairs though, unfortunately. But he was selling it on Facebook Marketplace. And I need a smaller table. My dining room table is huge. My son is going to take it. I think I'll put that up there. Just looks kind of blank up there. I'm having fun using up some of these gorgeous lace confections I've been saving. Kind of hate to cut that off, but I'm gonna have to make it work. So anyway, I hope that since the table is metal, it should be okay to pick it up in this drizzly rain. I have an old blanket I can throw over it if necessary. Unfortunately, I asked if he could hang on to the table until I move, and he didn't want to. So I have to have it moved here, and then we'll move it to my new place. I'll just add that little strip up there. And then I'll distress this image up and have it peeking out there. That looks cute. let's do another one. That was fun. So I have my doilies here, and I pulled out some various pieces. I didn't actually put anything together. But some of these are the gorgeous collar pieces that I've been getting at the flea markets. And what a great way to use them. This isn't a collar piece. That might be so big, so beautiful and big that I don't want to use it up or cut it up. This is a collar piece. So let's just see what we can do here. I'd have to cut that down because that's way too tall. But do I want to use that? Before I cut it, let's try some other things. Here's another collar. Oh, that is beautiful. And I can leave it whole and extend it over here so this side can have a little tiny tuck spot. I love that. I don't know if I want to put a doily on top of that. I think I don't even need to put cardstock or something behind it. I don't think. I think it'll be all right. No, I don't think I want to. Maybe I'll put some lace at the bottom that'll hang off a little bit. Yeah, that looks nice. I hope that when in my new room I'll be able to have my tower of lace drawers right next to me like I do here, because I love having it right there. I was prepared with having, oh, I'm sorry, I'm off screen. Let me adjust my camera. Sorry. I had floss in my button already. I did that before I turned the camera on. So I was ready for you. I think I've got some sheer fabric that I could use. Not sure where it is. Ah, oh, that's cheesecloth. Here it is. It's actually a netting, and it's vintage, and someone sent it to me, and I love it. So whoever sent it, thank you so much. I think it came off of maybe a baby dress or something, maybe a christening gown. Don't know if I need to do that. I feel like I want to add more to it because I wanted to do lots of layers on these, but I love that, and I don't think I need to mess it up at all anymore. I don't want to detract from it. Maybe I could just put something on this side. Now let's just start by sewing this piece down. Just going to use straight stitch for this. Doesn't want to move. There we go. I'm even going to leave those threads there from where it didn't want to move. It just tangled up the thread. I wanted shabby. And I'll have to find a picture to stick in there. Sure, I can find some. that's enough. And then I'll find some things to tuck in, and this will be sewn down the center when I sew it into the signature, so this will be just a tiny little tuck spot. So I like the way that turned out. It's another collar. That's beautiful. I don't want to put the flowers in the center. That makes more sense. But again, I could extend it all the way across. Just cut that piece off. Or let it be folded over. I'm gonna have to start it here, I think. So we have a tiny little tuck there, and a pocket here, and a medium tuck there. Maybe I'll sew up here a little bit so it would hold something a little more securely. Now, what can we add to embellish it with? I have to show you this before I make a mess. Look how nicely this drawer is arranged. All of these are stacked up. They're all stacked in nice little piles. And now I'm going to rummage through it and mess it up. I'm sorry. There will be pages in between here, so these are two separate collages. There's another collar. I like that little piece of purple tatting. unexpected. So let's start by sewing this filet crochet down. Completely forgot about my paper doily, but I guess I don't need it when I'm dealing with this stuff. You realize I'm going to have to go back to the first one and do something on the other half, since it didn't extend over on the first page that I did. But I don't have to do that on video. I made it a wider zigzag so it would catch in more of the petal. There's some thread hanging off the end of that tatting, and I'm just going to leave it. Lots of layers. The more the better, right? I don't think that about everything. I don't want to cover that gorgeous lace with zigzag, so I'm just going to do straight stitch here. One more. Just checking my watch because I thought I might have heard my son-in-law's truck, but it's an hour before we're supposed to go pick up the table, so hopefully I can continue working here. I like it. So I'll have to sew these pieces to the top of this lace before I sew it on as a pocket. Oh, they're here. I'm upstairs! Sorry for yelling. I don't like to yell. Oh, I know who it is. It's my realtor. They're coming in to... She's bringing her husband to fix a handrail in my basement. I forgot. Isn't that nice of a realtor to do? I better go down. So I'm going to leave it here for now, and you will see the finished product in another video. Thanks for watching today. Bye-bye.